Marcus Williams had been cleaning those office corridors for 3 months, and no one had ever asked his real name. Because if they had, they would have discovered that name was listed in the Pentagon's most classified files. The Sterling Dynamics skyscraper in the heart of New York gleamed with golden light as the first rays of morning hit its glass and steel structure. The 47-story building was one of the city's most prestigious business centers, where billion-dollar decisions were made and world-class security systems were designed. Marcus Williams was alone in the quiet corridors of the 42nd floor. His worn blue cleaning uniform was made from cheap fabric that didn't even bear the company logo. His boots were the only possession he'd brought back from Afghanistan, weathered, soles worn thin but still sturdy. His hair looked like it hadn't seen a barber in months, disheveled and unkempt, and the 3-day stubble on his face made him appear 10 years older than he was. As the electric vacuum's hum echoed through the corridor, Marcus moved with calculated precision. His eyes were constantly in motion, noting security camera positions, exit points, potential vulnerabilities. 30 years of military training never left you. "God, he's here again," muttered Jessica Chen, the clicking of her high-heeled pink shoes ringing like bells on the marble floor. As Human Resources Director, she'd worked at this company for 3 years and considered herself very important. Do we have to see this man every day? Following behind Jessica was Richard Sterling, the company's 39-year-old founder and CEO. His custom-tailored suit from Milan Swiss watch and Italian leather shoes were symbols showcasing his taste and status. "Jessica, I agree with you. This thing is seriously damaging our corporate image." Marcus ignored their conversation, keeping his head down as he pushed the vacuum. In his mind, he was making different calculations. This company's security protocols, employee behavior, leadership quality, all would be included in his Pentagon report. "I have a critical meeting with the Japanese at 9, said Jessica, pulling her phone from her Hermes bag. "I don't want to see this person here by then. Clients are starting to complain." Richard's blue eyes behind his glasses focused coldly on Marcus. "You're right, Jessica. Who would hire someone at this company's level? Look at his appearance, like he's living on the streets." Marcus's hands tensed slightly on the vacuum handle. Suddenly, that bloody night in Kabul flashed through his mind. The bomb explosion, his comrades' screams, the 6 months he spent in the hospital. PTSD episodes still came occasionally. He calmed himself with breathing exercises. Who would hire someone like this anyway? Richard continued, raising his voice. "Look at him. He should consider himself lucky we picked him up from the street. He's here because of our good intentions." Marcus's jaw tightened, but he remained silent. He'd learned to be patient. It was a necessary skill for survival. Jessica laughed, making a metallic sound. "I bet he doesn't even have a diploma. I wonder if he even finished high school." "Doubtful," said Richard. "These types usually aren't educated. Burden on society." As Marcus stored his cleaning equipment in the closet, he controlled every movement. Anger management techniques, mental resilience exercises, all part of Delta Force training. At 8:30, Marcus pulled out a small mirror from his pocket in the empty corridor. He fixed his hair, cleaned his face with a wet wipe. Then, from behind the closet, he carefully retrieved a clean shirt and tie he'd hidden. Within 5 minutes, his appearance had completely transformed. He checked the folder in his pocket. His CV, reference letters, security certifications, everything was ready. He knocked on Jessica's office door. "Come in," Jessica called out, focused on her MacBook screen, checking emails. Marcus entered. The office was filled with awards showcasing the company's success. Jessica was still looking at her computer. "Did you empty the trash? Did you check if the bathroom paper ran out? The area around the coffee machine was very messy this morning." "Ms. Chen," said Marcus, his voice calm but authoritative. "I'm not cleaning staff. I have an appointment at 9 this morning for a job interview." Jessica slowly raised her head. Her eyes surveyed Marcus from head to toe. What did you say?" "Marcus Williams. I applied for the security consultant position. I received approval from Human Resources." Jessica's mouth hung open in astonishment. Then she started laughing, first quietly, then loudly. You're going to be a security consultant?" She was breathless, tears coming from her eyes. Richard, get here immediately!" Richard came running, his suit jacket fluttering. When he saw Marcus, he paused. "What does this mean? Why is he in my office?" "This man," Jessica was still laughing, hitting the desk. Wants to be a security consultant at our company. Can you believe it?" Richard's face reddened with anger. His veins became visible. "How dare you? This is disrespectful. I'm calling our security guards. I'll have this homeless vagrant removed and turned over to the police." Marcus remained calm, hands clasped behind his back. "If you haven't reviewed my CV, my file is in the HR department." 105, Richard shouted angrily. "Your CV would be the nights you spent on street corners. Which university? Which references?" Jessica jumped up, her heels clicking. "Look, I don't know where you came from, but there's no job for you here. You've also lost your cleaning job because of this disrespect. Get out immediately." "Furthermore," said Richard, grabbing his phone, "I won't let you work anywhere. I'll call the entire industry and explain your situation." A glint that no one noticed appeared in Marcus's eyes. He pulled out an old model cell phone from his pocket, military grade, encrypted. "May I make a phone call?" Richard laughed angrily. "Who are you going to call?" "The homeless shelter, social services." Marcus dialed a special number. The phone rang. "General Morrison," Marcus Williams speaking. "Yes, sir, that Marcus Williams. Status code red. I need a direct connection to the Pentagon." The expressions on Jessica and Richard's faces suddenly changed. Their smiles froze. The phone conversation continued. "Yes, sir, Sterling Dynamics. Manhattan, 42nd floor. They don't know my real identity." "Yes, sir, the 3-month observation period is complete. The situation is worse than expected. Yes, exactly according to protocol." Marcus hung up the phone. "In 5 minutes, you'll receive a call from the Pentagon. A word of advice. Don't neglect to answer this call." Jessica's hands began to tremble. Who are you really?" Richard's voice became hoarse. "This isn't a joke, is it? Candid camera or something?" "Marcus Williams, Major, former Delta Force commander. I served 15 years in the Pentagon's Special Operations Unit, 3 tours in Afghanistan, 2 in Iraq, classified special missions." Richard's face paled, sweat beads forming on his forehead. "This isn't possible. You were our janitor." "No," said Marcus, his posture suddenly changing. Now he stood straight, shoulders back, gaze sharp. "I was an observer. I came here on special assignment from the Pentagon to evaluate your company's security vulnerabilities, employee behavior, and leadership quality." The phone rang. Jessica was so shaken she dropped it. Trembling, she picked it up from the floor and answered. "Sterling Dynamics, Jessica Chen speaking." Yes, sir." "Of course, sir. Immediately, sir." When she hung up, her face was ashen, her hands shaking uncontrollably. "That was General Morrison from the Pentagon. He ordered us to immediately escort Major Marcus Williams to the CEO's office. It's a critical situation involving national security. No delays will be accepted." Richard's knees were shaking. "Marcus, Major Williams, I really didn't know. I'm sorry." Marcus stood up. His posture had completely changed. Military bearing, authority, control. The atmosphere in the room had entirely shifted. "For 3 months, I've examined this company from every angle. Your security protocols, employee relations, crisis management skills, leadership quality. Everything is detailed in my report." Jessica started crying, her makeup running. "Please, Major, don't let us lose our jobs. I have 2 children, a mortgage." "I support a family too," said Richard, his voice cracking. "This company employs thousands of people." Marcus looked at them for a long time. His eyes no longer held pity, but cold assessment. "I'll ask you a very simple question. If I really were a homeless cleaning worker, would your behavior toward me have been ethical? Would it have been humane?" Deep silence. "For 3 months, you systematically humiliated me. You trampled on human dignity, conducted character assassination. What was the reason? That I had little money? That my clothes weren't expensive? That my social status didn't seem suitable to you?" Richard tried to open his mouth, but no sound came out. "The truth is," said Marcus, cold certainty in his voice, "you can never be true leaders, because leadership means recognizing people by their character, not their wealth, money, or status. You have failed the test." The door suddenly opened. 3 large men in black suits entered. They had wireless communication devices in their ears and weapon holsters on their belts. "Major Williams," said the lead agent in an official voice. "We're from Pentagon Special Operations Unit. Are you ready for duty, sir?" Marcus nodded. "Report is ready. This company's security certification should be immediately revoked. Security vulnerabilities are at critical levels." Jessica and Richard watched in horror, frozen in place. "Wait a minute," Richard shouted, his voice cracking. This company is worth billions of dollars. We have thousands of employees. Our contribution to the economy." One of the Pentagon agents spoke with cold professionalism. "Mr. Sterling, not anymore. Due to security violations and personnel management inadequacy, all your government contracts have been terminated. An FBI investigation has been initiated." Jessica collapsed, crying. "This can't be real. Our lives are ruined." Marcus turned to them one last time. "Remember," he said in a calm but definitive voice, "never judge the person in front of you by their appearance, economic situation, or social status, because that person might have the power to fundamentally change your life. This is the lesson you've been given today." The Pentagon agents escorted Marcus out of the office. Under Jessica and Richard's helpless gazes, the door closed. And from that moment on, Sterling Dynamics' golden age came to an end. News of the security breach crashed the company on the stock exchange. Jessica and Richard lost their jobs. The company went bankrupt. Marcus Williams, meanwhile, began a new mission with his true identity at the Pentagon as the man who teaches what true patriotism means.